How's it going, everybody? Landon with the Truck Boss Show. Thank you so much for joining us this week on this episode next to my friend Isela.
Hola, muchachos. How's it going?
Doing awesome.
So, Landon,
thanks for asking.
Not you. No, just kidding. So tell us how was your experience?
Oh man, it was amazing being there in Indy with the slow roll, covering that. So many great interviews. We're going to have a lot coming your way here in the next couple weeks.
That was pretty big. I got to tell you, I got to give you that.
Total amount of trucks, 78 trucks. As you can imagine, that covers a lot of the interstate.
Yes.
It was about 3 hours around, it was around 3 hours around Indianapolis a couple times. It was just a really cool experience.
So you had fun. We know you had fun.
I did.
Even though we missed you, but you know.
Yeah, you can check out, go to the Facebook fan page. You can see the Facebook Live we did as I sat there in the truck. Hour and 48 minutes.
No, that was pretty neat. But don't worry, Nikki and I had it. We got this.
It's only been at around 105,000 views, 1,000 shares.
He came here to brag.
No, I'm just saying it was a great time.
No, it was
Thank
a lot
you to Brian Hutchinson. It was a
awesome.
great time. Yeah. So as always, love to start every show out with some important news, the headlines that are making social media, all the viral stuff. So why don't you?
That's right. Bills introduced in the House and Senate. This was introduced on the 26th of February, which is going to allow CDL holders under the age of 21 to cross state lines for interstate operations. If approved in both houses, signed by the president, the legislation would also create training routines for under 21 drivers. Those requirements include 400 hours of on-duty time with experienced trainer, 240 hours driving with an experienced trainer. Trucks used for this training must have active braking systems, forward-facing video recorders, and speed limiters set to no more than 65 miles per hour. Landon, what do you think about this one?
No, it's been a huge topic. I mean, one of the things that we're seeing other groups advocating for out there throughout the country in the trucking industry is definitely driver training. It's been, in their opinion, too loose, not enough regulation behind it. And what it boiled down to is that the person giving the training, they could decide. For instance, if you got your CDL and wanted to become a truck driver and I was your trainer and all of a sudden I said, you're good to go. I mean, the next day. Yeah.
I'm just going to go.
It was up to me for the most part, at least from what we're getting on the reports. And so this is really good to see. I think a lot of people, especially independents and owner-operators, are going to be very excited.
They are, but I think
some more regulations are coming down the pipe.
True, but I think this is also this is going to help ease because we hear a lot trucker shortage. Mm-hmm. We're going to find out if that's the case and if, how true that is.
And real quick before we jump into other news, if you're new and you don't have enough training, enough experience behind the wheel, it could be overwhelming and you're out of the industry quickly.
That's
so
true.
Good point there, Isela. Moving on to some other news. Inspection area becomes rest stop for trucks. A former commercial vehicle inspection station on a heavily traveled highway in Canada has been made into a parking area. What it boils down to is that Ontario has been working with the country to be able to turn more of these inspection stations into parking to where they're going to bring safe as well as relevant, much needed parking in the trucking industry. And I think this is extremely important. Let me read this last part here. The Ministry of Transportation said the new rest area provides a safe place for commercial vehicle drivers to stop and take a break, combat fatigue, inspect their vehicles, and wait out poor weather conditions. And Isela, I think this is extremely important because now we're getting an example from our friends up north of what we could do here in the U.S. Truck parking is a big deal. ELDs have really shown just how limited truck parking is across the nation. Many states are closing down rest areas. On our show, we've talked about the challenges of truck parking. As I was in Indy, they talked about truck parking. It's an important topic, and it's great to see what Canada's doing, and I think state associations, local governments, state governments, as well as the FMCSA can really move along this path and provide more options for truck parking. So check out this article in the comment thread. Great stuff. Kudos to Canada there in Ontario. Great to see they're focusing on the safety and the rest of truckers across their nation.
Yes, and I know a lot of truckers will be happy with that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And well, Landon, let me tell you that I actually had the opportunity to have a good visit with our friend Adam Dye. He is one of the sales reps with Southwest Trailers and Equipment here in Oklahoma City, and he gave us a little bit of tips that you could use when it comes to purchasing a new and used trailer. Check this out. How's it going? Isela here with the Truck Boss Show. Well, today we are live from Southwest Trailers and Equipment. We are here with our friend Adam Dye. Adam, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
So Adam, tell us a little bit about what Southwest Trailers and Equipment.
Well, we were formerly a Fruhoff trailer branch that my father Mike was able to purchase from Fruhoff and transition over. And so we're almost 26 years old. We'll be celebrating 26 years in March. And moved out to this facility in 2001, actually, and got a lot more room to grow.
So tell us, where exactly are you located now?
So we're on the west side of Oklahoma City, real close to Yukon Mustang area. We're off of Reno, which is the main kind of east-west drag of the city, and right here in between Morgan and Sarah Road.
What are the type of trailers that you have?
So we're real heavy into all things tank trailers and all things dump trailers. You know, different makes and models. We do sprinkle in the dry van, drop deck, and flatbed lowboy lines as well.
Let's say someone is looking into purchasing a trailer, and of course a lot of questions come about, you know, what's good or what's not good. What are they supposed to look for? What are some of those good tips?
You know, it probably comes down more to budgetary. I'd say more than anything, if someone knows they can't quite qualify for a new trailer, then we've always got a large selection of used. And it really comes down to budgetary reasons. If you know, they can find a finance package and a payment they're comfortable with, they'll go with used. If they want a warranty and kind of that peace of mind on a new high dollar item, and they can qualify for it or pay cash for it, then they'll usually look more towards the new.
Whichever one they feel more comfortable with, and like you said, budget is what comes into play a lot of the times.
We've got a lot of both.
A lot of both. That's the good thing. So how can customers be assured that they're getting a quality trailer if it's used?
If it's used, we try to, with a lot of our used inventory, we try to run most of those through the shop, have the shop do a federal inspection on them just to check tires, brakes, you know, wheel seals and air lines. Make sure everything's in good working order before it gets out.
Before it goes out. So what is the name of the website?
So ours is abbreviated, just swtrailer.com. No S on the end, it's just singular.
It's that simple. And from there they can look at your inventory. Any other questions, the contact information is available for them.
We put everything on there, new, used, whether it's a consignment, everything goes on.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's good. Adam, we really do appreciate the time. Thank you so much. And if you are interested in purchasing a new or used trailer, Southwest Trailers and Equipment is going to be there to help you. And let's go ahead and give them the website one more time.
Sure, it's swtrailer.com.
Thank you to our friend Adam with Southwest Trailers and Equipment. Now, if you're interested in checking out their website, you can always go to their website, which is swtrailers.com.
Absolutely. Great interview, great job. Moving on, I had the opportunity there in Indianapolis to spend some time with Brian, who is the Director of PR for USTA, which is United States Transportation Alliance. Had an interview on what they're doing when it comes to advocating for specific regulations to be changed in the industry, and also their involvement specifically on Capitol Hill there in D.C. Check out this interview. How's it going, everybody? Landon with the Truck Boss Show. Thank you so much for joining us again here live at TA outside of Indianapolis with the Stand as One, as well as the Black Smoke Matters Slow Roll. Next to Brian Brazzi. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
It's fantastic. Pleasure to meet you.
Nice
and again,
to meet you.
Amber, always wonderful. She's definitely great for being a part of this interview. And reminder, Amber's one of the big reasons why this event's happening.
I think it's happening because of her.
There you go. There you go. So, Brian, for those who don't know, tell us about your affiliations and why you're here.
Okay, well, I'm the Director of Public Affairs for the United States Transportation Alliance. We are for truckers, by truckers, basically a lobbying organization. We're a 501c6, not-for-profit. We don't make a dime off of anything. And every single month we go to Washington, D.C. to lobby for the industry, for these drivers that are attending this event.
Excellent. And so that's with the USTA and also the organization. Let's dive into what your experience has been like on Capitol Hill at Washington, D.C. Are you getting the interviews, the ear of those that you want to? What's that experience been like?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenge, right? Because they're so used to, like, say, the ATA or just OIDA being involved.
Right.
They're not used to seeing people like us, like actual truckers, showing up and being like, hey, talk to us, you know? So we've definitely had some hiccups at the very beginning, but we've made a lot of great headway down in D.C., both with other industry stakeholders as well as Capitol Hill, so the House and the Senate. We've got really close working relationships that we're developing with several to help work with the, like for instance, Colin Peterson's reintroducing HR 5948 and HR 5949.
We actually reported that, one of the first ones on the Truck Boss Show, so
Right
you can
on.
see that
Good,
on YouTube.
good.
Shameless plug. Go watch that.
Yeah, hey, do your thing. But anyway, so right now, what we're doing is going across Capitol Hill, drumming up support for
Right.
that. We're the only organization on the ground doing that.
Absolutely.
So, right?
Exactly.
But USTA basically started back in April because we didn't like any of the organizations
Right.
that were out there. We didn't feel we were being represented the way that we wanted to be represented.
Right.
There was a lot of false stuff being put out.
Mhm.
You know, I don't even know how to put it, but just like mistruths.
Some
out there
people
across
say
social
that
media.
other organizations have their own agenda. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I totally do. I won't go out and say any names, but you know, when you start looking at why is an organization an LLC, for example,
Right.
or that they rely heavily on corporate sponsors, which, by the way, most of those corporate sponsors' freight that they have within their company is being hauled by ATA-backed companies.
I see.
I mean, come on. You know,
Right.
I'm not saying that should matter,
Right.
but to me personally, it matters, and I think to a lot of these people here that matters.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a fundamental difference between what USTA is doing, the United States Transportation Alliance, and what some of these other organizations are doing.
Right.
We're actually boots on the ground, and we're knocking on doors. We don't wear suits and ties.
Yeah.
We wear trucker dicky shirts because we are who we are.
That's right.
You
So
know?
let's dive a little bit deeper in the USTA being on Capitol Hill, your personal experience. What's been the feedback from those in the House, those in the Senate, other organizations? Are you getting there in a positive way, or are they sharing
so
their
one
different
of the,
perspective?
I'll talk about a couple industry stakeholders quick. One of the things that we're doing is we understand that we're not going to see eye to eye on everything, right?
Right.
Like Truck Safety Coalition's never going to agree 100% with what we want, right?
Right.
They always want the ELD there. They don't want exemptions. You know, we're always going to have that issue.
Right.
But there are things like the 2020 training plan, for example, that we see very eye to eye on.
Right.
So we're teaming up. So, you know, we're working with like the Truck Safety Coalition on a couple topics that we agree on, working with truckload carriers, working with the Teamsters.
That's great.
And then on Capitol Hill, we're drumming up support for the 10 truck or less exemption, but we're
Okay.
also working on things like cybersecurity in the trucking industry.
Right.
We're working on the parking, Jason's
Right.
Law. We're also working on the 2020 training.
Right.
And depending on what topic we're talking about is what senator or House member is the best one to work
Right.
with.
Okay.
So we have a very diverse and bipartisan group of legislators working with us and that we're working with them.
That's great to hear. Last question. Business owner, you're on the road every day, every week. Out of the specifics that everybody here is advocating for, and if you go online, there could be 6 specific topics. What's the one that's the most impactful in your business? If you had only to choose one, which one is it? I know that's a tough question.
You know, I'm not even going to really pick one of those because
Okay.
there's something that means more to me personally
Okay.
in this industry than any of that, and that's driver unity.
Okay.
That is the brotherhood and sisterhood within the industry that for some reason has basically left. Now,
Right.
it exists in small pockets. There's phenomenal clubs like Chi-Town Large Cars that look
Right.
out for each other, help each other out. They'll drive 1,000 miles
Right.
to pick up your trailer if your truck broke down to help you finish that load. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I miss that. That's what I want to personally see is bring
Okay.
back that unity. And I believe that if you can get that unity back into the industry, all those other things like the over-regulations, all that other crap,
Yeah.
right? The BS
Yeah.
will all come together. It will all
Exactly.
fall into place the way that it needs to if you can just get some unity, some
Right.
brotherhood and sisterhood back in this industry.
Excellent, man. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your
Honored to
time.
meet you.
Yeah,
and
I
all the
appreciate
best
it.
with the slow roll today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Big thank you to Brian. Hope you enjoyed that interview. We have a lot more coming your way. Today, I actually have a great interview with Trucker Nation, which is an organization that is already there like the USTA, but they have a different perspective on how to see change come about. So here on the Truck Boss Show, like we're committed to, we're going to cover all different angles of this. We don't lean one way. We're very neutral. We just want to report the facts, let you decide. So
Yeah, and we love the opinions, what you think about all this. You know, the trucking industry has changed in so many ways,
Right.
and it's come a long way. And just to go into more in depth with it, I think it's awesome and it's interesting, and that people get to see what's going on behind the scenes.
Right. I mean, with movements like Black Smoke Matters, with USTA, we're seeing what they believe is the right way to see
Right.
change. However, is that the correct way? We're going to find out. We're going to bring it to you on the Truck Boss Show. We've got a lot of exciting things
do.
coming next week. As you can see, I keep talking again way too much, but as always, it's a lot of fun to be with you, Isela. It's good to be back
you
in the
missed
side
us.
of.
That's
saying,
what happened. That's what happened. You missed
It's
it.
great to be back here in the studio. So, hey, thank you so much for being a part of our show today. Get a part of the conversation. We've got everything we've talked about in the comment threads. We want to hear from you. And if you don't know why we do this,
Because you're the boss.